Welcome back to Your World Today. Much more on the financial crisis in the financial sector in the United States. We have some audio problems that we had before sorted out now. We are joined by Peter Schiff, the author of Crash Proof, How to Profit from the Coming Economic Collapse. I can tell by the title of your book, Peter, that you saw this coming. I mean, when you look at a day like today, does this surprise you at all?
Not at all. I mean, everything that's happening, that's been happening for the past year, I wrote about in my book. And this is not just a financial collapse. This is a collapse of the entire American economy. It's really been a phony economy. It's been based on borrowing money from the rest of the world and blowing it on consumer goods and on houses. And the bottom line is we can't pay the money back, and people are just starting to figure that out. You know,
but you hear the politicians, you hear the president, you hear those running for the presidency saying fundamentally the U.S. economy is okay.
Yeah, they're lying. They're lying. They're trying to instill false confidence. You know, next time Henry Paulson or anybody from America comes knocking on your door and tries to get you to lend us more money, pretend you're not home. You know, we're broke. We can't pay you back. All we have is a printing press. You're hurting yourselves in the short run. I'm speaking about the rest of the world. And in the long run, you're not doing us any favors by allowing ourselves to dig ourselves into a deeper economic hole.
What should the average investor do on a day like this?
Well, hopefully the average investor, you know, is already sold his U.S. assets, which obviously he hasn't.
Most people haven't.
They should sell. You know, don't listen to Wall Street. You know, right now, America
Come on, though. All the conventional wisdoms, don't panic on this day. Don't sell into this.
Look, the conventional wisdom has been wrong. It's, you know, it's not conventional and it's not wise. Don't listen to it. You need to take your financial, you know, situation into your own hands and get out while you can. You know, America is the epicenter of this economic earthquake. Right now, it seems like the world is running towards us. Eventually, they're going to flee. The dollar's not going to be rising. It's going to fall through the floor. People aren't going to be buying U.S. treasuries. They're going to be dumping them. Right now, what Americans should do is take advantage of this phony rally in the U.S. currency and get rid of your dollars, sell your U.S. stocks and bonds, pull your money out of the bank, buy gold, buy foreign currencies, buy foreign stocks, buy commodities, get out of Dodge.
You're kidding. Out of U.S. markets. Completely
I'm not kidding.
Come on.
No, it's a mess. It is a financial disaster. You know, read the book. Everything that's happening. I mean, I laid it out cold. You know, we've had this phony economy where we've been borrowing money to consume. You cannot run an economy based on consumer credit. You know, what you need to do is you need to save. You need to produce. We're doing everything wrong. And unfortunately, the world has loaned us a lot of money. And right now, the world is suffering because we can't pay the loans back. And the more credit that gets extended to us, the more losses we're going to spread around the world.
All right. We've got to leave it there, Peter. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm told to wrap, and then I'm told we have more time, and I'm going to take more time because this is interesting. We decided to make sure our satellite window was big enough for one more question, and we've got it. I'm curious, Peter, on your thoughts about what Bank of America is up to in all of this.
Well, first of all, I think Bank of America was going to fail. I think Merrill was going to fail. I think the only reason that they bought Bank of America, that Bank of America is buying Merrill, is because they're trying to get too big to fail. They saw that Lehman Brothers went out, and they're thinking, we need to get even bigger. We need to make sure that the government bails us out, too. Remember, these are the same guys that bought Countrywide. And this deal only makes sense if they're trying to set themselves up to be too big to fail, because they've got all their own bad assets on their books. They got the Countrywide bad assets. Now they got the Merrill assets. It is a complete disaster. If you own this stock, it's not too late to sell. Get rid of it. You know, if you owned Merrill, sell it. If you own Bank of America, sell it. And it's not just, you know, these companies that are in trouble. All of our lending institutions and financial institutions are in trouble. They've got phony assets on their books, and the people that they loan their money to, American citizens, are too broke to pay these loans back.
So you're not buying the financial sector. I can certainly I know you like gold, but what's in your portfolio? You mentioned international stocks. I mean, what should people be buying?
Yeah, you know, my portfolio is full of gold stocks and energy stocks and commodities and foreign bonds and foreign currencies. And my portfolio right now is also going down. But I think this is all temporary because people are fleeing other assets and they're buying the dollar, but they're not paying attention to what they're buying. The dollar is what's really at risk, because ultimately what's going to happen is we're just going to have to print a lot of money for all these bailouts. We're going to have trillion-dollar budget deficits for the next few years. The government's going to be spending a lot of money. They're going to be doing all the wrong things, and they're going to try to print our way out of these problems, and all they're going to do is destroy the currency. So
Peter,
think of the U.S. dollar like the Zimbabwe dollar.
Yikes. You're harsh.
Well,
know,
the reality is tough.
a lot of people say ride this out, and I just want to make that clear.
You can't ride it out.
That's what you're saying.
There's nothing to ride out. People were saying ride it out. Look, if you own stock in Lehman Brothers and you wrote it out, you wrote it into bankruptcy. If you own stock in Freddie and Fannie, you wrote it into bankruptcy. You don't want to ride this out.
Who are you voting for in the U.S.
Look, I supported Congressman Ron Paul, who was running as a Republican. I don't support either of these guys. They don't understand the problems. They're both going to make it worse. This is kind of like the baton being passed to Jimmy Carter or to Roosevelt. They're going to make a lot of problems. They don't understand. The government isn't the solution. The government's the problem. Alan Greenspan is going on television saying that this is a 100-year event, that these are random events. He created this problem. It's his monetary policy that laid the foundation for this debacle. The two are not.
Fed chair.
Yes, it's his fault. It's the government's fault. We kept interest rates too low. We blew up this giant speculative bubble. We encouraged everybody to buy money, to borrow money, to buy inflated asset prices, to spend their money on consumption. We've had this phony economy, and now it's falling apart around us. And the problem is so many people don't realize that we've been living in this bubble economy. They don't realize that it's burst. They think the government can reflate it. They can't.
Peter Schiff, thank you for your thoughts. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Wow. How do you really feel? There's his book if you're interested in it, Crash Proof, How to Profit from the Coming Economic